What's up, everybody? My name is Vitus King. I'm originally from Connecticut.
Nice.
And made the move out here to Los Angeles in October 2021.
Nice.
And yeah, it's been amazing ever since.
That's cool. That's
yeah.
cool. And then, how'd you get started in music?
I've been singing since I was a little kid. It started out with like church things, church events, stuff like that. And then as I got older in school, doing choir, things like that, my elementary school music teacher kind of noticed that I had a talent, and my mom kind of pushed me to do like a little talent show at a summer camp, and people really enjoyed it, and they asked me to perform at another talent show, and I was like, wow, people like when I do this.
Right.
That feels kind of nice. And so yeah, I started doing more things, more choirs, this and that, singing in the church more. And then I'm 100% Italian, and that's, really, really, Italian culture's really been a big part of my life. And so I would sing a lot of Italian folk songs, things like that, at Italian festivals around Connecticut growing up. And then it just kept going from there. In high school, I was kind of like the music guy, the singer guy.
Yeah.
I was voted most musical in my yearbook.
Okay.
And then I went to college and continued my studies there. Originally studying to be like an opera singer.
Wow.
And I hated like music theory.
Yeah.
I struggled with those classes so much because for me, music is just such an emotion-based thing. And so I was really struggling, and I really thought about giving it up.
Wow.
And I took a semester abroad to study music in France, and I was still studying classical at the time. And one of my buddies that was studying there too, he was just like super into it, and taught me like a newfound appreciation for, starting through the classical music. But then what happened was I fell in love with the way that a conductor conducting an orchestra could just control everybody's emotions in the whole auditorium. And I was like, I want to do that on a bigger scale.
Okay.
And that's when I decided I wanted to shift over to like pop music, because I could reach more people. And it was something that I still really loved, and so I was like, I can do that all around the world at the same time, have a bunch of people who have some kind of feeling or something they need at that moment, and I can deliver that to them, whether they're here in the United States, somewhere in, China, India, Italy, no matter where you are, no matter who you are, and deliver that experience. And
have you performed in Italy yet?
I haven't, but I have performed when I was I might have still been in middle school at the time. I don't remember if I was like 8th grade, or maybe I had just gotten into high school. But it was my freshman year of high school. I performed with a choir over in Ireland. We did a tour in Ireland, and that was really cool. And then when I was studying in France, I did a lot of performances there.
How's that vibe when you're performing in France, and that's different from the United States?
Well, it was like a whole different experience than like my performances now, because a lot of it was choral stuff, like classical choral stuff. There was one that was really crazy, because since I was studying at the conservatory, I had to be in this one choir, right? It was like mandatory, so I did that. Then the host family I was staying with, they had a son who was a year older than me, and he was also a singer and studied at the conservatory, and we both had the same voice teacher, and he was part of a men's choir that was super good, and I was really stoked to join them, so I did. And then there was another guy I met from there who had his own choir, so he asked me to join that, so I did. And then there was a dude in that choir who was like, hey, I have this quartet and I need somebody to sing bass. And so I joined that, and turned out we were performing for this like French knights. It was like people who were like the tops of their field and got like this distinction of like knights of the arts of France. And so here I am, like, singing in front of all these like who's who of their fields in France, and it was crazy. And I had no idea till we were at the performance. Like, nobody told me what it was.
I know your nerves must have been kicking though. Like,
and it was crazy too, because we had like 2 rehearsals, and so I had to learn this music like 2 times. And it's a quartet, so I'm the only one singing my part. It's not like with a big choir where you can kind of like, if you screw up, like you just kind of blend in. Nah, if I screw up, everybody knows I'm the only one singing that. But no, it was cool. It was cool.
That's good though, man. I feel like going to different countries, different states, different cities, wherever the case may be, like you said, you found a different way of looking at like what direction you want to go into music.
Yeah.
You know
Absolutely.
what I'm saying? With pop, like who are your influences in pop, or what really made you be like, you know what I'm saying, like, oh, I want to do what he does or she does, or
Yeah, I I'm super blessed because my parents really did a great job of exposing me and my brothers to a lot of different music, a lot of like legendary artists. I mean, they took us
You
to
ever listen
concerts
to
all
Justin
the time.
Timberlake?
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
oh yeah. But even I'm talking like even way older than that. Like my first concerts were the Beach Boys and Joan Jett.
Oh wow.
And it took me to see, and it was a really wide range of stuff, right? Like they took me to see Stevie Wonder, who I'd say is probably my biggest overall influence.
Wow.
One of my favorite, like maybe my favorite artist all time.
Okay.
And then and Earth, Wind, and Fire I've seen multiple times.
Oh wow.
And then even things like
Man,
Kenny
I wish I
Rogers,
seen it.
you know what I
Yeah,
mean?
yeah.
And then I even got to see Paul McCartney, like all kinds of different stuff. And then, even more recent people that have inspired me, like Bruno Mars. I love the way he performs. I
Yeah,
love his energy,
yeah.
what he does with his voice. And he's a brilliant writer, too.
Yeah.
That's a thing that's really my focus has shifted a lot into really the songwriting bit now. I'm so inspired and like study a lot of great songwriters who's writing the pop songs that the stars are singing. And that's something I want to do. Aside from just writing my own stuff, I want to write for other artists in like any genre.
That's cool.
But it's like it gets me so excited even just to talk about it.
Just and I love the energy and just the passion behind it. Like when it comes to like your next projects and things that you have in the works, what you got going on?
Yeah, so I have 3 singles out right now. My latest one was Intentions.
Yeah.
And then I've got a few more in the works. I'm actually, I back in January, I joined this thing called Hard Drive. And it's like a community-based record label. And man, I'm in songwriting sessions, co-writing sessions all the time.
Hardwire.
Multiple times. Hard Drive.
Hard Drive.
Multiple times a week over Zoom. And it's like, you have a producer in there that'll build a beat on the spot, and then you and whoever other songwriters, if you like it, you go in a breakout room, write to it, whatever. And so, now I'm starting to build up a catalog of songs real quick. Actually, that last song from that show.
What's the name of that song?
Fresh Roses.
Fresh Roses.
Yeah. So that came from one of those writing sessions.
Oh.
And I actually haven't even recorded it yet. It's
Okay.
just I just did
Just
like
live.
a demo version, and so
Yeah.
so then I just have been I performed it live because I like putting it in front of a crowd, seeing how people
got something with that
react to it, and so but that's kind of high up there on my list of the next songs I want to get done and put out.
Did you ever think about it, like when it comes to performing, what is the reason you want to perform, or you are performing? What is some people are doing it for different reasons. What is your reason?
Yeah, I think like I was saying before, that feeling of being able to deliver a certain emotion, a certain feeling
Right.
to people. When people are listening to my music on Spotify, whatever, that's happening. But I don't get to see that.
Right.
I don't get to share that moment with them. When I'm performing live, it's happening in real time. I'm seeing it. And, for me, another part of me getting into music and why music has been so important to me and why I stuck with it is because, growing up, I had a really hard time making friends. I got picked on a lot. And when I realized I was good at singing, I kind of
embraced that.
Yeah, that became like my safety net, because I knew, like, if anybody said anything bad about me when it came to music, it was just not credible,
Right.
and everybody else would know that, So
can't.
I wouldn't pay any mind to that,
Were you going by Vitus King from day one?
I wasn't. No, I was going by my government name.
Okay.
And then it was, it's really Italian, and people always misspelled it, mispronounced it.
Yeah.
And so I was like, you know what, I gotta switch it up. So the way I got Vitus King, I grew up Catholic. I still am Catholic, but I took Vitus. Saint Vitus was the saint I chose for my confirmation, and he's a patron saint of entertainers. And so, I decided then to take that name for my artist name.
Yeah.
And yeah.
And with that, well, look, that's the time we have, man, with the Vitus King. I was expecting the signature hat.
I know,
you know
yeah.
what?
I was gonna ask that, like,
Yeah.
how'd you come with the hat?
Yeah, so there's this event called Something Dope for the People, and when I found out about that the first time I went, I knew it was like a a place to meet people as well. And I know a lot of people are going to be meeting each other. And then it's like when you hit people up on the gram and you're like, who was this again? So I was like, I need something that people are going to remember. Okay, right. Oh, it was that guy. So I had this hat laying around from a liquor vendor from a restaurant I worked at. And I was like, I'm going to wear this. And then people, since I didn't get a chance to perform that night, then I was like, all right, I should wear this to other things. So if I run into people, they'll be like, oh, it's that guy again. And so then I kept wearing it, and now it's just kind of become part of the brand, the captain's hat. But I decided to change it out today
for the podcast. It's all good.
To rep actually there's a local brand called Just Be Dope, and I love their hats. I picked up a couple of them at an event once, and yeah, so I wanted to rep their stuff a little bit.
Nah, definitely. But that hat, that was a smart idea, and I think that's a good. It's like it sets you apart from.
Yeah, I got one now that has Vitus King written on it.
Oh,
you know, you gotta brand it up now. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Keep it going. Well, look, that's it, man. We're here with the Vitus King Small World podcast. Y'all stay tuned because when this drop on YouTube, it's going to be something that you guys want to watch. Definitely get some bits and pieces, help promote your favorite part on Instagram. Show the Vitus King story. He came here, asked us some questions, and we're just so thankful for you to be a part of this. We wanted to revamp it. Real underground vibe, but for you to get on here and not just share your music, but to share a little bit about you as well, tell you a little bit about your story. So definitely appreciate you being here.
That means a lot. I appreciate you guys having me. You know, this is everything you guys do to help artists grow.
Yeah.
And giving us a platform. So I really appreciate it. And you know, everybody looking for what I'm doing next, you can follow me everywhere at Vitus the King. I'm excited to share what I got coming up next with all of you.
All right, guys. See you soon. Peace.